Private A Cappella Association.
It has come to our attention that you are not in college.
Is this your mother? This is Aubrey Posen. Yes. Thank you, sir. I look forward to seeing you again at Lincoln Center. Yes! Aubrey?
I'm all in, bitches.
The Aka gods have looked down on us, and they have given us a second chance.
Shalom.
I texted Becca.
You did what?
She makes us better.
That's not an opinion for you to have, Chloe.
Why? Because it's not yours? You're not always right, you know.
We will win without her.
Jesse, I know you're in there. I can smell popcorn. Jesse, come on, open up. Hey. Tried to call you. I left you a bunch of messages.
Yeah, I got him.
I'm sorry that we fought. I was mad and I overreacted and Aubrey makes me crazy.
Seriously? You think I'm mad because you yelled at me?
No, I know.
No, you don't. You think you know, but you don't. You push away anyone who could possibly care about you. Why is that?
I don't know.
Well, you better figure it out because I'm done with whatever this is.
Jesse.
I'm done. Women. Yeah.
Okay, stop! What is happening to us? Chloe, you sound like you smoke 3 packs a day. Stacy, you are so behind on choreography. And Jessica and Ashley, it is like you haven't been here all year long.
Aubrey, really?
We've literally been here the whole time.
Aubrey, please just give us a break. It's kind of not the same without everyone here.
We need Becca.
Maybe if Aubrey loosened the reins a little bit.
Okay, shut it, Chloe.
Whoa.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was rude. Chloe, could you please get your head out of your ass? It's not a hat.
Okay, awkward.
Again.
No one was more surprised than me, but I really liked those girls.
And you thought quitting was the answer?
Seriously? You can say that to me?
Oh, come on, Beck. That's so unfair. Look, your mom and I, we didn't work. But I tried so hard to make things right between us. But you just shut me out.
Yeah, well, I shut everybody out. Don't take it personally. It's just easier.
It's also really lonely.
What do I do?
No, that's up to you. Dribbles!
Listen up! If this is about the Bellas getting into the finals, we already know.
I don't give a crap about those dumb because I'm being brought up to the musical big leagues.
What are you talking about?
John Mayer just asked me personally through an assistant to sing backup on his new CD. I'll leave for Los Angeles in a few hours, so we get going.
But, Bumper, what about the ICCAs? They're this weekend.
Sorry, buddies, but I won that shit like 100 times, so I'm out of here. Got a collarless leather jacket to buy. Maybe some aviators. I might get an earring. I don't know. Los Angeles, this is exciting stuff. My life rules!
Bumper's a jerk. I said it. Yeah. Well, he's a jerk that we need to replace. Yeah. Pronto dente. You know he writes his own fan mail.
Spot opened up, and it's yours if you want it. Just one condition. Promise me you won't get all weird. We're just a group of guys singing a bunch of covers of songs, okay? If you get weird, they will definitely not let you stay.
Deal. Although, I don't know what you mean by weird.
I have been there for you for so many years, and all you do is treat me like shit.
Okay, just shut up, everyone. Come on, I joined this group so I could hang out with a bunch of really cool chicks. And also because I was really sick of all my boyfriends, and I need to get away from that. But this is some serious horse shit. What's that smell? Stinks everywhere. I don't want to be like the old Bellas.
Yeah, I want to be how we are now.
Should have listened to Becca.
Oh, so it's my fault?
That's not what I'm saying.
No. That's what you're all thinking, isn't it? That I'm the jerk. I am the girl obsessed with winning.
Aubrey, you're too controlling, and it's gonna ruin all of us.
You know what? I can lose control if I want to. I can let go. This time I'm not gonna choke it down. Nothing. This is a Bella's rehearsal.
I know. I just wanted to say that I'm sorry. What I did was a really dick move, and I shouldn't have changed the set without asking you guys. And I definitely shouldn't have left. I let you guys down, and I'm really sorry. And Aubrey, if you would have me, I want back in.
Wait.
Thank you. That would have been embarrassing.
Becca, I know that I've been hard on you. Okay? I know that I have been hard on everyone here. But I am my father's daughter. And he always said, if at first you don't succeed, pack your bags.
I get it. Mine gets on me too. Not like that, but I guess we don't really know that much about each other. About most of you, really.
Well, I'll confess something that none of you know about me. I have a lot of...
Yeah, we know, Stacy.
Only because I just told you.
This is a good idea. That was a pretty bad example, but this is a good idea. Why don't we all go around the room and we can all say something about ourselves that nobody else knows.
Okay, I got something. This is hard for me to admit to you guys.
I think we all know where this is going. Let's be honest.
Well, for the last 2 years, I've had a serious gambling problem.
What?
What?
It started when I broke up with my girlfriend. Well, there it is.
in the womb.
Okay. Fat Amy?
I'm an open book. I mean, for God's sake, you guys have got me Fat Amy. See, I guess I'm just not really living if I'm not being 100% honest. And my real name is Fat Patricia.
Okay. I've never been one of those girls who had a lot of friends who were girls. And I do now. And that's pretty cool. So that's me. Someone else please go.
Okay. Over spring break, I made the courageous decision to remove my notes. I know. The doctor said that I can't sing above a G sharp, maybe ever. I thought the season was over.
Becca, what do we do?
Sorry. Maybe not here. All right, let's remix this business. Aubrey, would you pick a song for us, please?
Bruno Mars, Just the Way You Are.
Okay. Chloe, are you okay to take the lead? Yeah.
Perfectly without her trying. She's so beautiful, and I tell her every day. I was thinking about her, thinking about me, thinking about us, and her should be in my eyes. It's so just a dream that she don't see what I see. But every time she asks me, do I look okay? I say, when I see you travel back down that road, will she come back? No one knows. I really thought it was only just a dream. 'Cause you're amazing, just the way you so travel back down that road, will she come back? No one knows. I really thought it was only just a dream. 'Cause you're amazing, just the way you when I see your face.
Hands in.
1, 2. What was that?
I don't know. I've never made that sound before.
Yo, but with your messed up vocal cords, you can hit the bass notes.
Do you know what that means? Yes, Lily?
I think I have something that can help us out.
Excuse me, you don't need to shout.
Don't get mad.
Welcome to the finals of the 2012 International Championship of Collegiate Acapella.
Lincoln Center is proud to welcome back all these young hopefuls tonight who are hoping to win a trophy by making music with their mouths.
This is going to be a big night, and I tell you, Gail, if you can just shut your eyes.
Doing it.
Shut your eyes and get rid of all the acapolitics, then you can remember being at Lincoln Center here in the Big Apple and singing on this storied stage is the dream of every a cappella singer.
You said it, John.
Hey,
Good luck.
thanks. You too.
Dad, dad, ow, dad, dad, ow, dad, dad, ow, dad,
Living for the weekend, but no, not anymore. 'Cause here comes that familiar feeling that Friday's cream is for. Yeah, I'm looking for some action, and it's out there somewhere. You can feel the electricity all in the air. Only may just be more insane. But sometimes you wanna go where everyone knows your name. So I guess I'll have to wait and see. But I'm just gonna let something brand new happen to me. And it's alright, it's alright. Bright lights in the big city. Belongs to us tonight. I've got the magic in me. Every time I touch that track, it turns into gold. Now everybody knows I've got the magic in me. When I hit the floor, the girls come snapping. Now everybody wants some presto man.
These tricks that I'm a temple blow your mind. Pick a verse, any verse, I'll hypnotize you with every line. I need a volunteer, how about you? With the eyes, come on down to the front and sit right here and don't be shy. So come on, let's see the show tonight. I'm gonna be astounded, no longer poltergeist. You know I'm no Pinocchio, I never told a lie. They call me Mr. Magic Man, I'm photo cloud nine.
Every time I touch that track, it turns into gold.
Oh yes, it turns to gold.
Everybody knows I've got the magic. Put your hands, come on. Magic, I got the magic in me.
Oh, the Treble's closing it strong like always.
Absolutely tight. It's going to be very hard to beat that tonight.
Oh, every other group has their work cut out for them, John.
Well, I'm glad it's not us anymore, Gail. Those days are over, thank goodness.
Especially since they wouldn't have us back.
all right.
I love you, awesome nerds.
Yeah, you guys are the best. Even though some of you are pretty thin, I think that you all have fat hearts. And that's what matters. Okay, let's just smash this, okay?
Goodness gracious, will you look at this? Gone are those Bella uniforms, and this is a whole new look for them, and it is hot, hot, hot.
John, these girls could turn me.
Seems like everybody's got a price. I wonder how they sleep at night. When the sale comes first and the truth comes second, just stop for a minute and smile. Everybody look to the left. Everybody look to the right. Can you feel that? Yeah, we're playing with love tonight. It ain't about the money. It's not about the money. We just wanna make the world dance. Forget about the price tag. It ain't about the cha-ching. It ain't about the bubbling. Wanna make the world dance. Forget about the price tag. Forget about the hey. Won't you come see about me? I'll be the one dancing. You know it, baby. Tell me your troubles and doubts. Give me Will you call my name as you walk on by? Will you call my name as you walk on by? Will you call my name? Give me everything tonight. Probably you know we might not get tomorrow. Let's do it tonight. Let's get one mistake. All my cares in play. I want you tonight. Grab somebody sexy and tell them, hey, give me everything tonight. Give me everything. I can finish tonight. Cause tomorrow I'm off to do battle before my princess. But tonight, I can make you my queen and baby. Small chick and this ain't the way they ain't blowing money. Keep me on the small both sides, so I'm tiptoe with it. Keep blowing, I got it locked down like listen on here. Don't laugh, baby. I make it feel right, baby. Can't promise tomorrow, but I promise tonight. Darling, excuse me, but I might take a vision off my shirt tonight. I might take you home with me if I could. Baby, forget about again tonight. Tonight, tonight. Let's do it tonight.
What a show!
I think we have just seen some a cappella history being made, John.
And from an all-female group, Gail, I could never have called this one.
Never. Well, you are a misogynist at heart, so there's no way you would have bet on these girls to win.
Absolutely.
Told you. Ending's the best part.
You're such a weirdo.
Listen up, Akaballers. I have been rejected by the army, shoved into a Dora the Explorer backpack, and pushed into the girls' locker room wearing nothing but suspenders. But no matter, I am in the world that I love. And with the assistance of my boy Justin,
My liege.
I launched this year's auditions. The most recent ICCA national champion winners get to pick the audition song.
All right, nerds, let's go with.
You clap your hands, you're turning heads. You're jumping ship, jumping on my bed. You snuck into my room, danced away the night. I turned off my light, I turned off my light. We came to smash, smash. We came to smash. We came to smash.
help people stop getting sick. People think the weather makes them sick. Actually, it's the germs. Dettol protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs, including the cold and flu virus.
You in the pollution. Yes, you. Dry throat? Strepsils. Gal in the smoke with a raspy voice. Strepsils. Hello, in the downpour with a scratchy throat? Take Strepsils. Get soothing relief for any throat irritation. Strepsils with its medicinal ingredients will heal the harm done to your throat from external factors. Strepsils. Strepsils for a dry, itchy, raspy, scratchy throat.
Refreshed new look of Business Daily, newspaper or online. It's an accurate, insightful and balanced view of business affecting local and regional economies. Read the changing business environment. Business Daily, more possibilities.
On the Pambazuka National Lottery Show, the choice is yours.
Ball or blow? Pale ndipo senti zako zilipo.
Go for blower.
Mystery box. 7, 14, 1, 2, 3, 39, 40.
Chaguoni lako. Watch the Pambazuka National Lottery Show every Wednesday and Sunday at 7:30 p.m. and find out.
NTV, turning on your world. The following program has been rated PG. It may contain scenes unsuitable for children under the age of 10.
Welcome to another episode of Victoria's Lounge from the Azure Hotel, Nairobi. Now, as of August 1st, couples in customary marriages will be required to make their union official at the Registrar of Marriages. Now, this has raised a lot of questions in terms of what it means for culture and for marriage as a whole in this country. I'll have a panel and an audience who are ready to delve into this topic. Let's meet them now. Ken Wangi was traditionally married in the Kamba tradition, blended with Kikuyu rituals. He says he's comfortable with the new requirements for customary marriages, but is not so keen on having a white wedding. Judy Thongori is a respected senior counsel with over 2 decades of experience in family law in Kenya. A fierce advocate for women's rights, Judy believes the customary marriage law protects more than it does erode culture. Martin Nyakundi Obarimu is a lawyer and legal researcher. Having learned cultural aspects of various communities in Kenya, Martin faults the manner in which the customary marriage law is being implemented, saying it might water down the unique essence of traditional unions. Hashtag Victoria's Lounge is how you can chime into the conversation on social media, and this is one you definitely want to engage in. I want to begin with my panel. Martin, I'll start with you. You have been very vocal on social media about this new provision on customary marriages. If you could just briefly explain, what does it entail?
Customary marriage is unique to various places in this country. There are so many processes that one is supposed to go through, depending on, on a given community one comes from. And my problem has been where we are legislating formally over an informal process. This is a process that does not have guidelines that are uniform and homologous to the whole country. Every community has its own guidelines. We have not come up with the procedure and all the requirements that somebody must fulfill before it is registered.
Okay.
We are climbing a tree from the top, and so that is why we have issues. There are two questions at the onset. Will the registrar prove that the person I have taken there to register as my wife is actually my wife? I could be picking some elders from the street and take them there, and they fill these forms, and then she said to be my wife. Right. And that means I'll be living in an urban center, thus disinheriting my very own wife who is at home. And in case I die before the truth is known, then this one I've registered with will be able to disinherit the actual and the authentic and the legitimate people of that family.
Right.
And then secondly, Kenya is so vast. Do we have enough registrars, for example, in those areas which are very far from the urban centers, who are able to register these people? And then again, do we have resources that have been put in place to enforce that registration, if in fact it takes place?
Okay.
And so on the onset, those are the issues that we have.
So your argument is the criteria is not clear enough or just not there at all to be able to guide this process?
One, when a law is being legislated, those people it's going to affect must be consulted. They are the users of they are the people the law is coming to affect. The issue of marriage is like land registration. It's like conveyancing. It is unique to every place. And because of the problems that were there in land, we have land boards in every district, every sub-county. And therefore, because also marriage is unique, we need to come up even with the marriage boards, who will be listening and who will be registering and who will be filling some forms, and these forms are deliberate that these are the requirements, and then which will now be taken to the registrar, because the same board will enforce that marriage.
Okay, Judy, you've been actually dealing with family law for decades now, I should say. Yes. And do you feel that this law is necessary? A lot of the questions, at least the biggest one, is why now? Why are we having to deal with a provision like this now?
Good question. But you know, actually, the Marriage Act 2014, it came into being in 2014, is the one that provided for the registration of customary marriages. And it is only now, 3 years later, that we are getting the registry operative so that we can now begin to register the marriages. So it's not new. Actually, it's 3 years late. But behind the Marriage Act was calls across the country by men and women asking, how do we make it easier to evidence the customary marriages that we are in? Because what my colleague here is fearing was happening and continues to happen, that people marry under custom, but because there is nothing formal to evidence it, they drop it down as if it was a gown, and they move on. So you've got this woman married 40 years, at least thinking she's married 40 years to somebody, then this person takes up somebody else, the one he's fearing that they could take up, and they go and register a monogamous union. And because they have the evidence of a customary marriage, the other person, the other woman of 40 years in the marriage and her children have nothing to show in terms of a marriage. I think going forward with this registration of marriages is something we must embrace. And you know what? Even for the government to know how many of our couples are married, because you know what, I keep saying this, family is the smallest unit of devolution. Yeah. Does a government need not plan knowing we have so many people who are married, and therefore let us avail these resources to these people? I think it's critically important that we must have registration. We can do it better if we think that there's something that we can do better, but we must join the government in saying the year 2017, we cannot remain the way we were in 1969 when President Kenyatta commissioned a commission to look into the laws of marriages. We must take responsibility from where we are.
So this is more like a rights-based provision, if you will, to protect vulnerable parties in a marriage.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And by the way, it's the men as well. It is taking responsibility for whoever you have decided to invest your life in, not just the wife, but the men and even the children. Yeah. I mean, how would you feel if you're 40 years old and your mother still says, I've been living with this man for 40 years, but I'm not sure that it's a legal marriage, or your father for that matter. And I can tell you, Victoria, you will not believe the injustice that happens upon upon the demise of one of those parties, where there is no evidence of marriage, and the elders who attended at the point that the marriage, the customary marriage was carried out, may have long, since died. The reason we have so many cases in court is because we have nothing to evidence it. So for me, registration is the place we should be.
Okay. Now, Ken, you're actually in a customary marriage yourself.
Yes.
What do you make about this new provision?
This new provision is very good for us, for me and my wife and my family, because here is a process that we did that started with negotiations, with elders coming together, families coming together, these ceremonies with dowry, all that. And then at the end of the process, we are told again we have to do another process, maybe at the AG, maybe at church. That's enough. That process that we already did should be good enough for us. And we embraced it and we liked it because it was a cultural marriage with its own rigors, with its own pomp and color. So that should be good enough to register it. And to put my wife in a position that she can enjoy benefits of being my wife, at least legally, at least in my organization, I can write her that she's my spouse. She can enjoy my insurance, all that, in a legal way, not in a sure way that sometimes I don't know what to write. So it enables me as a family man to truly embrace her, embrace my daughter also, and they are part of me. So I support it, and it's a good move.
Martin, I really wonder, because prior to this, prior to formalizing customary marriages, what was the case for a lot of couples when it came to what Ken was talking about, when it came to insurance, other land issues, property issues? How would someone go about such a process without such a provision?
If we go back to what used to happen, I'm married customarily myself, is that marriage is something that occurs in a community. In customary marriage, the wife belongs to the community. The community will always stand by her. The community is with her. And where there is a challenge, the community will always call you and make you sit down and tell you, we have had this and that, and it should not happen. And because of that connection I have to my community, I will always listen to the elders. And one thing I want to correct my learned senior is that those elders do not die. They are always witnesses. During a customary marriage, it is a function that occurs in the village. Everybody comes, including children. They dance around, they eat around. It's such a nice ceremony that it cannot be forgotten during the lifetime of these couples. And these are the elders who are enforcing that marriage. Where there is death or where there is anything, people will say, so and so has died, but he had a wife. Let us look for her before we bury him. And they will look for that wife. So and so has died, but she had a husband. Let us take her to where the husband was. This is something that is enforced by society.
So let me ask this. Do you feel then that culture could be watered down with such a law?
Yes. Okay. Very true. Let me defend just for one sentence. You see, customary marriage belongs to the people. We cannot pass a law that has no moral support by the people. We cannot pass a law that the people have not put their input in. We cannot pass a law that has, to uniformize something that is unique to every village and every community. What we need to do is to look at how we can enforce these marriages at the origin, at source, at the center where they occur.
Okay, Judy, I want to get your take on this. Will it affect culture?
Not at all. In fact, what Martin says is available to customary marriages is going to continue because the nature of those marriages isn't changing at all. Okay. The society remains in control of what the rights will be. Like among the Kikuyu, the rights are different from among the Kisii, among the Luo, etc. This law, the Marriage Act of 2014, did not affect that at all. In fact, it simply said that the rituals, the rights of a customary marriage in accordance with a particular community. Okay, so you do that which you do best. But the law is saying, we're also looking at you from outside and thinking, you need evidence. Because of course you don't get evidence when you do it among the elders. So we will give you a marriage certificate so that you can be able to interact. Because when you marry in a customary union, you don't stay in the custom. It would be okay if you're staying among the Kikuyu, among the Kisii, or whoever, who recognize. But you're part of the world. Isn't it? So many times, people have to come to us for affidavits evidencing marriage because of where they work or what they do. Why do they need to do that? The government is making it easier for you. Have a certificate. As a person who gets married in church, incidentally, we need to make this very clear. Yeah. The act And the rules are talking about registration of marriages, meaning most of the marriages, like even the church one, it takes place in church. You actually get a certificate in church. But because it's necessary to have an administrative function where there's a list of the people who are married in Kenya, a copy of that certificate, the priest is required to send it to the marriage registrar for record purposes. So we are not doing any different in custom. We are saying you may not have a certificate, but that doesn't mean that we will not register your marriage and also give you a certificate, because at the community level, you do not get a certificate. So I'm saying it is actually enhancing, it's adding value, it does not take away.
Okay, on that note, let's take a short break here on Victoria's Lounge. The conversation continues. I hope you're keeping it going on social media. We'll be right back.
Play responsibly. For over 18s, Elite Bet. More play, more pay.
Leo tutaonyesha njia ya kuhifadhi pesa katika nyakati hizi ngumu.
Kwa nini sabuni hii
Inasafisha na ni bei rahisi?
lakini Ariel hung'arisha zaidi kutumia sabuni kidogo zaidi?
Haiwezekani.
Nyasi, chai na kinywaji cha chokoleti
itahitaji moja, vipimo viwili
na kipimo kimoja tu cha Ariel.
Mwosho bora, sabuni kidogo zaidi. Na hiyo ni akiba kweli.
Moja tu imetosha.
How are you? Wacha kutusalamia.
Better living is bigger and better. Join me every single morning from 8 to 9 a.m. only on NTV every single Monday to Friday for lots of great advice on health.
You need to, number one, love your body.
Relationship.
God has fashioned everybody to be with a partner.
And of course, a little bit of entertainment.
What I have here in this amazing envelope is a dinner for two.
That and a lot more will make your life that much better.
What is it that you, first of all, love about giraffe?
They have the most amazing eyelashes.
Oh,
and,
they certainly do.
Every lady in the world would, gets jealous when you see those eyelashes.
Remember, the whole point of this exercise is to protect these rhinos.
They're also critically endangered, and you'll see that later. So the whole come back.
This view is incredibly beautiful.
It is. This is my TV set. You see that? This is where the world happens for me. A lot of people, they just look at an elephant and say it's just an animal. But after knowing the behavior and knowing they think like us, knowing they behave like people, at the time you understand what's the importance of the elephants.
It is absolutely fascinating to be this close to a lioness. Welcome to the world. So many turtles, I can't believe it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Watch Kenya's award-winning wildlife and conservation show, NTV Wild Talk, with Smriti Vidyarthi, every Tuesday at 10 p.m. in partnership with Wildlife Direct and the Kenya Wildlife Service.
Mambo vipi? Mambo vipi se papa Africa Film Art at Messenger Kabala State.
Kama kawa maze NTV Jamrock. Kangoma katambe sio? Twende kazi.
Them up fell for you. There's no breaking up.
Naitwa Ebony.
Unaitwa Ebony kutoka wapi?
Australia.
Australia. Oh, Australia Dandora sio?
Right foot, let's stop. Left foot, let's stop. Cha-cha, real smooth. Turn it out.
Cheki game na Mwanaspoti. Kama ni kabumbu nyumbani ama Uingereza, usikose habari moto za matokeo ya ligi, makala spesheli, maoni na umbea wa michezo kupitia gazeti la kipekee la spoti nchini. Wacha spoti ibambe. Pata nakala yako kila Jumanne na Jumamosi. Uchapisho wa Nation Media Group.
And the parkour challenge starts right now.
Do you have the fastest hands in town?
Wow. Okay. He's correct, ladies and gentlemen.
Watch the Pambazuka National Lottery Show every Wednesday and Sunday at 7:30 p.m. and find out.
Enjoy the wide and entertaining range of programs on NTV and more than 80 television channels available on ADN set-top boxes. The ADN digital boxes are available for 4,400 at all Tuskys supermarket countrywide. For trading inquiries, consult Tropical Brands Africa on 0720 460 841. Watch all your favorite TV channels for free on ADN set-top boxes. Forget the monthly subscriptions. Get your ADN set-top box today.
Enjoy the smooth, chocolatey taste of Cadbury Dairy Milk.
Welcome back. You're watching Victoria's Lounge. Now, during the break, the conversation continued, as I'm sure it did on social media. And Ken, you actually had a question about how the process should be carried out.
Yes, the big question to me is not whether it should be done or not, it's where it should be done. For the customary marriage, it's witnessed in the village, and it's done with the presence of families, with the elders, different communities coming together in a village setting. Should the registration be done in the village and not in Nairobi? Because when it's done in the city, in the capital, there's all that options of people lying that they did such processes. But when it's done at the source, maybe at the village level, at the chief, sub-chief, the elders, the process is foolproof. Should they be given the powers to adjudicate or to even conduct such marriages?
Senior Counsel, I guess I can go to you, Judy.
It can be done all the way to the sub-county. The Cabinet Secretary, the Attorney General has the power to empower all the officers all the way down to be assistant marriage registrars. For now, I think even at the level of sub-county, once the registry is opened, you'll be able to register there. And as devolution continues to come closer to the people, I am sure one of the services that will continue to come closer to the people is one of the registration of the marriages. So you don't need to come to Nairobi. Absolutely not.
Yeah. Yes.
Maybe, let me see something there. Of course, they are saying that you can register in every county. But has there been any civic education to teach these people, because they are the majority, that this is the form that you will be filling, these are the requirements on this side, and this is what you need to come with on this side? It is just some gazette notice claiming that by this date you should register. How, where, when, and in what form? It has not been given. So those are the challenges.
My brother, you're part of the civic education. That's where you were here this afternoon. This is what is, civic education. And it needed to start with a gazette notice, so that we can then take it from there and inform people. So you're doing it, I'm doing it, the government should do it, but we know the government has only so much capacity. Can we take it upon ourselves? But of course, it is positive that people should be informed.
Yes, the problem is the form.
Okay, the way in which we're doing the how. Okay, any questions from the audience?
I'm Somali, and Somalis, they don't do registration. Right now, there's nothing like that says, there is no evidence that I'm married. We don't do rings, we don't register, we don't do nothing. All we do is just like how he said, we like families meeting, elders talking, paying the dowry, and that's all. You go to your house, and now you're married. That's it. So there is nothing like you're going somewhere to register, and I don't think they will do that.
So you think your community will be opposed to this?
Not opposing. Okay, they're so culturally oriented. They just love their culture that much. They're so into their culture, attached to it. So I don't think they'll go maybe to the court or anywhere to register marriage. They don't.
And I wonder if that would create, there's also a fear of whether cultures will feel sidelined in all of this, that the systems that they've had in place for, never know, even centuries, now are no longer considered at least at par with the legal structure. And I don't know if that, perception-wise, would not play well with some cultures.
I think it's the other way. Our concern all the time until the Marriage Act of 2014 was that the customary marriages were considered to be at this level, when the other ones, when you could show a certificate, were considered at this level. So it continued to happen. People didn't have enough information about it, or even whether or not it was a legal marriage. By the operation of the Act, they were put at par. And I think the elders should even be more confident to know that which they do for their communities, even nationally, because we operate in a national environment.
You see, they both balance, you know, the religion and the culture at the same time. So for me, I was born and raised in Kenya. But you see, for marriages, they don't just, it's just something so normal. It's not necessary for you to go somewhere and register. It's not necessary for you like to, you know, push something so hard to that. It's just, it just happens.
Okay. Go ahead,
The
Martin,
question you've
respond?
asked, if I heard you well, you're saying, what will these elders in these communities now feel? Because they have not been involved. In every community, whether Somali, whether Kisi or Luo, there are those elders who ensure that this is the ceremony that is to be done, this is the way it should be done, this is the way we have been doing it. Now here we are coming from the top with guidelines and rules without consulting these elders. How receptive will this registration be? I was thinking that we were to start from the bottom and speak with these people, know how they want it done, what form and in which way. Then we move now up with the support from the base. But here we are starting from the top, saying you must register, which is even not very, very clear. I am very sure most elders are going to oppose this because they have not been consulted all along when these guidelines are being set, and we may have people not coming forward to register.
Yeah. You know, I don't agree with you. And it's not coming top down. It's actually bottom up. We've spent a lot of time before the Marriage Act ever became a bill, even in 2007. And for all the work that was done to make it popular and people understand it, we went to the, how do I say, we went internally into this country to find out what people wanted. May I tell you that at the beginning, the conversation was whether polygamy should apply to Kenya or not going forward. But people went down there and found out that most of our people live in polygamous unions. And it was found out that if you're to say that there will be no polygamy, then you're not making a law for the people of this country, because that's the fact of the country in which we live in. So it is not true that this is coming from the top down. There has been considerable debate, considerable research, and I've talked about 1969, a marriage commission. Even Mzee Jomo Kenyatta understood that we needed to do something about our marriages, because you know what? They define us, define our children more than anything else. In 1969, and my learned colleague, my colleague here should not have the many fears that he's having. And the people who get protected in the end are the families that have suffered, like I've said, for very many decades.
Okay, there was a question there?
Yeah, both. My first comment would be, I come from a school of law where I don't believe in marriage defines us, and that's what you said, because we all socialize very different. And I want to believe that, believing that marriage defines who people are is a bit backward in my thinking, because I feel people have, individually, we have different aspects of life, and I don't think just because you're married, you should be defined by whether you're married or not, even in public. That's not how we should be looking at people individually, especially when it comes to women. But my question is, does actually registering custom marriage solve anything in the marriage issue? Because I believe people being faithful or any other, or otherwise not being faithful, it's a personal choice. It has nothing to do with whether you're registered or whether you're formally known by government or not. I believe this conversation should be different. It should be about why aren't people being faithful in marriages and actually just taking responsibilities of their actions when they choose to engage in a marriage. Because I don't think really registering these things or not may really help.
So we're crossing into moral territory here.
Yeah, it's ethics, it's morals, it's character.
I think it's possible to think that way, and maybe many years ago, before I started dealing with families on a day-to-day basis, I'd have been where you are, okay? I probably would have said, marriage does not define us. But you know, many years after doing what I do, I know once you say I do, you are so defined. Why? Because whether you like it or not, there are rights of others, the ones that you have said I do with, that affect you, okay? Whether you like it or not, there are your rights that affect other people. Whether you like it or not, you're in a union where it's not only you. How can it not define you? Because why have you said I do? It's because you have come into a union with somebody else. There's a reason why you have said that. So for me, I believe marriage defines a lot of people. And the breakdown of marriage as well defines very many people. So you need to know, am I married or am I not married? Under customary unions, the way it was before registration, it is possible for one person to say, I am married, and another person to put in a pleading in court say, we are not married, we're just boyfriend and girlfriend. And like I said before, by then, there are children, there is property acquired, there is so much. It may well take you 5 years to resolve that issue. How can that not define you? If the person you have had children with, if the person with whom you have acquired property, if the person with whom you have spent so many years is saying, we were just boyfriend and girlfriend. So it's actually not backward to think that marriage defines us. Okay. It does define us.
Martin, we'll go to break. We'll have Martin and Ken respond to that. Let's take a short break here on Victoria's Lounge. We'll be right back.
To G3, the most awesome show in my world.
Team Republic, where everything dope happens.
Kamakawa Maze, NTV Jamrock.
Representing for Christ. Crossover.
Crossover 101. NTV Property Show will enable you buy or build your dream house.
Victoria's Lounge, where the conversation comes alive.
Picture Team Republic and Umari.
Pull up to the club and they go up.
The men on this side, can I get a ahoo?
Men are different.
They're different.
And we're emotional. It's only that our tears fall inside.
It's time to laugh. Laugh. And shush. And laugh.
Right foot, let's stop. Left foot, let's stop. Cha-cha, real smooth. Turn it out.
NTV, showing you the best of local entertainment. NTV Wild, in partnership with the Kenya Wildlife Service and Wildlife Direct.
Health is a human right, and science facilitates the enjoyment of that right. Healthy Nation is an informative and insightful pullout on matters health and science. Join the conversation. Get your copy of Healthy Nation this and every Tuesday, only in the Daily Nation. Powered by Nation Media Group and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
Because laughter is the best medicine. The only show that brings families together, brings nations together. nurtures talent, and bronze gives us a chance to laugh and laugh. You have believed us, and we have come a long way with you. The Churchill Show, every Sunday at 8 p.m. only on NTV. Enjoy the wide and entertaining range of programs on NTV and more than 80 television channels available on ADN set-top boxes. The ADN digital boxes are available for 4,400 at all Tuskys supermarket countrywide. For trading inquiries, consult Tropical Brands Africa on 0720-460-841. Watch all your favorite TV channels for free on ADN set-top boxes. Forget the monthly subscriptions. Get your ADN set-top box today.
The Bible says, serve the Lord your God in your youth, because then you're energetic, you have strength, and you can definitely do more.
And this is why we bring you the best gospel mixes. And making sure that tumeleta msanii wako wa nguvu.
This is where you get motivated,
inspired.
We must discover the uniqueness that God has placed in every one of us.
educated.
The word of grace is able to build you up. Most definitely have a lot of fun. Nakupatia metronome.
Remember to join us every Sunday from 10 a.m. all the way to 1 p.m. only on Crossover
101. Cameraman, zoom it.
I really like your style.
Everyone is a potential homeowner, and our work is to help you achieve that dream. NTV Property Show will enable you buy or build your dream house, sell your property, refurbish your space, and even give you deeper insight into the property market that's ever changing at the comfort of your home.
Renovation is more challenging than building from scratch.
By Vision 2030, Nairobi will need to house at least 3 times its current population. But the sad news is, on the same space of land.
The main element that is aiding corruption in land is the system of information in the land sector.
We focus on the current needs and trends. We look at demand versus supply. On the creative side, we look at the DIY segment, where you get to do it all by yourself, putting in interior design and decor, bringing in those craft ideas to make your home stylish, safer and affordable. Be sure to catch the show every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. only on NTV.
Enjoy the smooth, chocolatey taste of Cadbury Dairy Milk.
Welcome back. You're watching Victoria's Lounge. I'm sure from watching the show you can see how emotive the issue of marriage and love really is, because it's really based on that. But Ken, you wanted to respond to Judy.
Yes, my response is on an earlier comment that she said that what this bill did, what registration does, is now make customary at par with other marriages. Yeah. This is because I experienced it myself after doing a beautiful ceremony with all the customs, with all the everything that we did. Yeah. I was still asked after that, so when is the wedding? Yeah. I tried to explain to people that we've done the wedding and it was customary. So we actually even exchanged rings because we did it according to Kamba traditions. We did a ceremony, a Kikuyu ceremony, that we fed each other some food, we fed each other some meat, and everyone was happy after that. And after that, I was asked by so many people, so when is the wedding? And I had a hard time explaining that this is it. We've done our wedding and we are now husband and wife. Yeah. So what this bill has done is, has given us the opportunity now and everyone to do the same thing, that end the process at that and register it. And we are considered that we were in a marriage and in a proper marriage to say.
But can you still feel that pressure to have a white wedding, I guess, to please other parties?
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
Yeah.
Especially from the women, because women are very sentimental, sentimental about white weddings. Yeah. And so far I've held the pressure so well, but I'm beginning to yield slowly.
Yes, a bit, yes. Okay.
But my customary should be registered, and it's good enough, and we are registering it.
The certificate might help, Ken.
Yes. It might, yes, in this cause. Martin?
I want to support my learned senior here that marriage actually defines who you are. You see the way we are, when we were born, we are like sheep. And a sheep in the harbor is very safe, but that is not what the sheep was made for. The sheep was made to rock the sea. There are some things that we take for granted in early age. Having been a teacher and having interacted with so many students whom I meet and who are speaking the same way, that theirs is that they don't consider marriage to be anything, they come to realize that it is very important when it is almost late. And by the time they start the family way, their age has already gone. There are some things that are so sentimental that you cannot buy. Let me say, if you are in a relationship and you are lucky to have children, and you look at them as they meet you in the evening when you arrive home, that feeling, you can never buy it with any money. It's a feeling that makes you complete, that puts you in a sense of entitlement and responsibility. And it makes you to be a very careful person, a very hardworking person, and a law-abiding person. And let us know, our society has got the rules and guidelines that are expected of all of us, which we cannot erase instantly, even if we read as many books as possible. We don't have to go to the right, and we don't have to go too much to the left. We must have that middle line. We cannot run away from that society where we have grown in, and we have to live with it. And that is what I can say, that marriage, as far as our society is concerned, and several years to come, defines who you are.
So defining it will help with accountability, at least for both parties who are within the marriage. Yes. Speaking of which, because now when we cross over into post-marriage, it's broken. They have already registered at the registrar of marriages, but now have decided it's not working. Which system now do they go to in terms of, do they go to the traditional or do they go to the legal when it comes to breaking up the marriage and figuring out what goes to who?
Okay, let's start from what happens now. Even though customary marriages are conducted at the community level, like Ken's here, divorce will be done in court. That's the only way that you be recognized as divorced, because you have a decree of divorce, okay? So even under the Marriage Act and with this certificate, you will still do the divorce process in court. There are people who do it, I think they still do some customary level of divorce, but you will have to have a formal divorce certificate from the court for it to be recognized as a dissolution of marriage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Any comments from the audience? Yes, go ahead.
Okay, my question goes to, for example, we have this couple. They did customary marriage. The wife wants them to be registered because she wants to protect her children. She wants the children to get inheritance and all that. But the husband is against it. And you see, for her, she's trying to do the right thing by protecting the children because she's seeing into the future and she's thinking, my children should be safe. So what happens in such a scenario where one party wants to do it, the other one doesn't, but then it's necessary? So what do you do in such a...
There are two scenarios here. There is a customary marriages existing, like Ken's here. And the greatest challenge about having them registered is that both parties may not be at par in having them registered. Perhaps one of them has had a change of mind or whatever it is. I need to say that that marriage is still valid, whether registered or not. It is true we are being told under the law we have 3 years from the 1st of August to register the marriages, because it's a good thing to register. But even if you do not register the marriage, it is not invalid because it exists by the fact of it having been contracted. Going forward, there are people who are married and want to marry under custom, okay? I would imagine that they have some power at the point that the decision is being made. It's like people who decide to get married in church or to the registrars. You are able to tell your partner, let's get married in church, which involves registration, because you have the negotiating power, as long as you're not married. You know what I mean? Right. So I am hoping that those who choose to marry under custom will recognize that they have power to push it all through until they get the certificate. Okay? But even if you don't register it, I know that it will not be invalid by the fact of the non-registration.
Okay.
Yes.
And will this require, for instance, those who officiate such ceremonies in customary marriage, will they need to get some sort of documentation to authorize them to carry out, just depending on the different tribes and communities?
That's a good question. Now, the law is leaving it up to the communities to do what they have always done best, like in Michael's case here and in Ken's case here. Okay, but so to come forward for registration, you will need witnesses saying that that process took place. And the witnesses will be people who have played a part in that customary marriage. So you bring that declaration that says you're both above 18, that you got married on such and such a day through Kikuyu or Luo, whatever custom, and then you have the witnesses going forward. But for the ones that were conducted a long time ago, on top of that declaration, you'll be asked to bring a chief's letter to accompany that so that it may be registered. Okay. So the law is not interfering at all with what happens on the ground.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
Martin,
wanted to add something about one thing you asked about divorce. I am thinking that our legal system is not ready for handling divorce matters on customary marriage. Let us look at a typical example of some people in the village who have no resources. They don't have even 20 bob right now. But there's a problem and they want to go to court. To be able to be heard in court, they must file. They must do the preliminary things like filing for divorce, and here a lawyer will be required. On one side, we may have somebody affording a senior lawyer and a very competent lawyer like my friend here, and another person does not. You see, when they come to court, because our court system is adversarial in that this one is talking and the other one is, and the judge is just a neutral person here. The one who can afford a counsel will have an upper hand against the one who cannot. Therefore, for us to be able to take this matter forward in a good way, we need to have special courts whereby there is no lawyer or advocate in such a situation. And the judge is acting just like an elder when it was married. Because when you have decided to go for customary marriage, you are in a frame of mind which is different from somebody who has decided to go for a wedding, which is different from somebody who has decided to go for a civil marriage. Yeah. So that frame of mind is from the beginning to the end. So that this one can give them, this party will be able to explain their part without any assistance from a counsel, and this party, so that it is inquisitorial.
And I really wonder, because a lot of these communities have dispute resolution mechanisms.
Yes.
Could some of those decisions be considered in a court of law, for instance, once they've settled in their space?
Can I say that even in Nairobi here and elsewhere, it's being encouraged as much as possible to have mediation over family matters and other matters. Because it is recognized that some of these family matters, they are emotional, they are all those things. If they could be dealt with in a manner in which people are able to take charge of their future, it would be best. So to say that perhaps in the future, because you see, law is dynamic, it serves the needs of its citizens. Perhaps the proposal that you're making can become law. But for now, the recognized place of dispute resolution in terms of divorce is the court. Yes. But we also say that people are completely free to approach courts on their own without representation. And to tell you people, you need to go to those courts and see increasingly how people are on self-representation. They're representing themselves. And the judges and magistrates are sensitized more than ever before to hear people representing their cases. And I always say, who is a better person to represent their family case than the person who is actually affected by it? So can I say that it's not so difficult anymore, even in drawing up the documents that you need to file in court. It's not so difficult anymore. Of course, I recognize that it can be better, and I recognize that in the future we should continue to ease access to justice. But for now, that's a place to be. But to say that all other issues other than divorce, custody, financial, property issues, and what have you, the courts are encouraging people to resolve them on their own.
Okay, yeah. All right. And I think on that note, it's a great place to end it. We can talk about this topic for days, even weeks. It's a very emotive one. Thank you so much to my panel, to my extended panel, AKA audience. Thank you for your insights and comments. It really added value to the conversation. I hope you're keeping it going on social media. It's definitely a necessary conversation so that more people are sensitized on what it means for them. Thank you to Azure Hotel in Nairobi for hosting us. Have a lovely evening, and let's do this again next week.
be a journalist, you must learn to be skeptical.
I would say situations change. Let's take this forward.
Kenyans have got a short memory. That is false.
What are your concerns?
I haven't heard those rumors.
How do we take this forward?
Finality is good, but justice is better.
One of the biggest enemies to a journalist is a number.
It takes time to crunch these numbers.
Are you happy with how the numbers are put out there?
Weave a new narrative of covering stuff. I'm not trying to rubbish anything that Dennis is saying.
It's
important to respond to Macharia.
We don't rest here at Press Pass.
I know opinion polls are not just the ones we read here.
There should be an element of the public participation. There are three things under the sun that do not change: the sun, the moon, and the truth.
Mimi naitwa Daniel Choroke John. Bibi alikuja akakonjeka after 1 month kuzaa watoto akapatwa na blood clot. Kaona yuko poa, nikamuingiza kwa gari tukaenda Kenyatta. Kuenda kupaki gari kurudi kapata ko serious. After that akapasi nikiwa tunaye kwa mkono. Hapo maisha ilichange juu hapo kwa maisha ngumu. Nilimwoa ndio alikuwa anaitwa Faith Mwende. Ndio bibi yangu. Mama watoto. Maisha ni ngumu bila wife. Hapo sasa kwa grupu mama wife alikuwa ameingia multiple mothers. Nilikuwa kazi silikuwa na stress ya maziwa. Ananibaia baba mpaka bambas hata kulipa mfanyikazi. Kwa hii kundi ya multiple moms kwa Dr. Wal ambaye ndio anasimamia group. Sasa ndio alibidi nipatane nao nisaidie mahali wamefikisha. Kina mama wamejaribu.
What is it that you, first of all, love about giraffe?
They have the most amazing eyelashes.
Oh,
and,
they certainly do.
Every lady in the world gets jealous when you see those eyelashes.
Remember, the whole point of this exercise is to protect these rhinos.
They're also critically endangered, and you'll see that later. So the whole come back.
This view is incredibly beautiful.
It is. This is my TV set. You see that? This is where the world happens for me.
A lot of people, they just look at an elephant and think it's just an animal. But after knowing the behavior and knowing they think like us, knowing they behave like people, at the time you understand what's the importance of the elephants.
It is absolutely fascinating to be this close to a lioness. Welcome to the world. So many turtles, I can't believe it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Watch Kenya's award-winning wildlife and conservation show, NTV Wild Talk, with Smriti Vidyarthi, every Tuesday at 10 p.m. in partnership with Wildlife Direct and the Kenya Wildlife Service.
Hey guys, welcome to G3, the most awesome show in my world.
Team Republic, where everything dope happens.
Kamakawa Maze, NTV Jamrock.
Representing for Christ. Crossover.
Crossover 101. NTV Property Show will enable you buy or build your dream house.
Victoria's Lounge, where the conversation comes alive.
Picture Twin Republic and Omari.
Pull up to the club and it go up.
The men on this side, can I get a ahoo?
Men are different.
They're different.
And we're emotional. It's only that our tears fall inside.
It's time to laugh.
Right foot, let's stop. Left foot, let's stop. Cha-cha, real smooth. Turn it out.
NTV, showing you the best of local entertainment.
English Premier League fixtures with Elite Bet.